poll that's out this morning. It's a national poll. It has you second behind Jeb Bush, 19 to 12%. Why do you think you're doing so well?
Well, I'm not happy being behind Jeb Bush, to be honest with you, because I don't get it. I mean, he's in favor of Common Core. He's very weak on immigration, extremely weak on immigration. He thinks people come over for love, and I'm not at all happy. I don't understand how he's in first place, but I'm certainly honored by the poll, and people are understanding my message, which is basically make America great again, and we're doing very well.
Why is he beating you then?
I have absolutely no idea. Maybe it's the Bush name, but the last thing we need is another Bush. But I will tell you, I'm a little surprised that he would be in the position he's in. And look, I'm right behind him, and I think we'll do very well. But I'm surprised, if anybody, I'm surprised it would be him.
In your mind, why shouldn't he be president?
I don't think he's got the gravitas. I don't think he's a negotiator at all. We need somebody that can change trade deals. We have to make our country rich again to make our country great again, Don. He's not a guy that will be able to negotiate with China, make deals with Iran. It's just not his thing. And I think he's probably a nice person. I have no idea. But he's just not somebody that's going to take us to the promised land. That's my opinion. I feel strongly about it.
You're a blunt talker. So is Chris Christie. He jumped into the race just yesterday. Is he competition to you?
Well, he's a friend of mine. I like him very much, and I was pushing him 4 years ago. I said, you know, Chris, this is your time. Go do it. Go do it. And for whatever reason, he didn't. I think if he did it, he would have beaten Romney, and Romney did a poor job of running last time because I think that's a race that should have been won. But I think Chris Christie, who, you know, he's a good man, but I just don't think it's going to work this time. I think he's got a lot of problems. I think it's just not going to happen, Don. And I think 4 years ago he would have beaten Romney, and I think he might have beaten Obama. I think he would have beaten Obama. But this is a different age, and it's a different time, and there's been a lot of water over the dam.
Yeah, well, my colleague Gloria Borger just interviewed his wife, and he said she believes that the bridge scandal is behind him. So you said he has problems. What problems does Chris Christie have?
Well, I think the whole, you know, they love the talk and they love the bluntness and they loved all of the things, and then he's been through such a hard time, and I understand. I mean, he's really suffered over the last couple of years, and I just think it's probably, and I may be wrong. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? Who really knows? And if you would have said, if you would have told people 3 or 4 weeks ago that Trump would be in the position he is, and by the way, speaking of that, I always said if I ever announced, if people ever felt, because I walk down the street, everybody wants this business ability that I have and other abilities. They wanted to make the country great again. And, you know, if you would have, and I've always said that if I announced and if people felt that I was actually going to run, I would be at the top of the polls. And that sort of happened.
But, you know, but it seems like, to me, and this is just me, that you're getting clobbered by the leaders of the party. The leaders of the party don't appear to be taking you seriously, but the actual voters appear to be taking you seriously. That has to be frustrating.
The leaders of the party take me very seriously, and they call all the time, and they talk to me, and believe me, they take me seriously. And then I'll see them on television when they'll say, not, you know, look, it's hard for them not to when you're number 1 and number 2 in the polls. Michigan just came out number 2. I think Michigan's an amazing place, by the way, and they came out, I'm number 2 in Michigan. And I haven't been, you know, I haven't campaigned in Michigan yet. And frankly, I think they're taking me very seriously. I mean, I'm getting notes from people, the top of the party.
Yeah, but Donald, what about publicly, though?
I'm getting notes from other participants.
What will it take for them to support you publicly?
You know, Don, you know what they like to do? They like to say, well, we don't consider him a serious candidate. Why wouldn't I be? I went to the Wharton School of Finance. I was a great student. It's one of the hardest schools in the world to get into. I go out, I make a tremendous fortune. I write a book called The Art of the Deal, the #1 selling business book of all time, at least I think, but I'm pretty sure it is, and certainly a big monster, #1 bestseller. I do The Apprentice, tremendous success, one of the most successful shows, renewed again, and which NBC, by the way, was not happy when I ran because they wanted to have me on The Apprentice, but that's okay. But I do all of this, including build this great company, and then they say, oh, some governor who's nothing, some senator who's not very good, I'm going to take his place on the stage. Isn't that too bad? Because I'm at number 2 and they're at number 12. And I'm saying to myself, you know, why wouldn't I be on the stage? I've had a great record of success. By the way, I've employed tens of thousands of people over the years. Tens of thousands, Don.
Yeah.
I don't mean like 500 people or tens of thousands of people over the years.
Yeah.
And to this day, I mean, I'm building the old post office on Pennsylvania Avenue. I just finished Doral in Miami, hundreds of acres in the middle of Miami. And then I'm not supposed to be on the stage with some politician that hasn't done a good job?
You're going to stay in this long enough to be on the stage for these debates?
Of course I will. Why would I ever get out? I want to see the country thrive. Our country is being run by people that don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see us make great trade deals so that instead of China taking all of our jobs, which they're doing now, so many, I mean, it's a one-sided deal.
Yeah.
They're sending stuff to us. If we send stuff to them, it's almost impossible to get it into China.
I want to talk to you.
Take a look at the deficits we have with China and with Japan. And by the way, with Mexico. I love the Mexican people. I've had a great relationship with Mexico and the Mexican people. But
let me talk to you about that.
I'm really disappointed, Don. I'm really disappointed in our leadership, not in Mexico. I wish they were more involved in these deals, because what's happened is the Mexican leaders and negotiators are out negotiating our people because our people are not smart.
All right.
And they're taking a lot of our business away and our jobs away.
Let's talk about Mexico. I don't mean to cut you off, but let's talk about Mexico. And you did mention NBC not being happy. They cut ties with you yesterday, today, because your comments about Mexican immigrants. Another company.
Because they're weak. You know what? They cut ties because they're weak.
Who,
they're
NBC,
weak,
you think?
And it's very sad to see, but that's it. Because I'm talking not about Mexico. I'm talking about illegal immigration, and it has to be stopped down in this country.
Okay.
It's killing our country.
Let's talk about Macy's then.
Don, people are pouring over the borders, pouring. We have incredible border patrols. These are incredible people, and they're instructed they can't do anything. People are pouring into the United States. I guess some come from Mexico, but they come from all over the world. By the way, they come from the Middle East. We don't even know where they come from.
Why did you have to say that they're rapists, though, Donald?
It's resonating with the voters.
Why did you have to say they were rapists, though, Donald?
Who's racist?
No, rapists. No, not racist. No, why did you have to say they were rapists?
Oh, well, if you look at the statistics of people coming, I didn't say about Mexico. I say the illegal immigrants. You look at the statistics on rape, on crime, on everything coming in illegally into this country, they're mind-boggling. If you go to Fusion, you will see a story about 80% of the women coming in. I mean, you have to take a look at these stories. And you know who owns Fusion? Univision. And it was in the Huffington Post. I said, let me get some of these articles because I've heard some horrible things. I deal a lot of talking with people on the Border Patrols.
Yeah.
They're incredible people.
I want to get some.
Our country.
I want to get some clarification, though.
No, but Don, all you have to do is go to Fusion and pick up the stories on rape, and it's unbelievable when you look at what's going on. So all I'm doing is telling the truth.
I read the Washington Post, I read the Fusion, I read the Huffington Post, and that's about women being raped. It's not about criminals coming across the border or entering the country.
Well, somebody's doing the raping, Don. I mean, you know, somebody's doing the. You're saying it's women being raped. Well, who's doing the raping?
Mm-hmm.
Who's doing the raping?
Yeah.
I mean, how can you say such a thing? So look. The problem is you have to stop illegal immigration coming across the border. You have to create a strong border, Don.
Yeah.
If you don't, we don't have a country.
I want to get this Macy's in there because Macy's cut ties with you today. They took their stuff off your shelves. And here's a part of their statement. It says, Macy's is a company that stands for diversity and inclusion. We have no tolerance for discrimination in any form. In the light of the statements made by Donald Trump, which are inconsistent with Macy's values, we've decided to discontinue our business relationship with Mr. Trump. How do you respond to that?
They folded under pressure. You know, it's not a big business for me. It's very small. It's ties and stuff. But they folded under pressure. Terry Lundgren folded under pressure. They called me. He called me. He said, gee whiz, you know, he's under a lot of pressure. And, you know, I guess who knows? I mean, they fold under pressure. That's the problem with our country. Everybody folds under pressure. Instead of doing the right thing, they just immediately, they have two people go outside with a sign, and you see two pickets, and they immediately say, oh, gee, we have to do this is pressure, pressure. People can't handle pressure. And that's what they did. They did a total fold, and that's okay with me. Yeah. It's okay with me. It's a very small business. Let them do what they want to do.
I want to put this came from Trump. This says Trump's statement. I don't know if you put it out, if your company put it out. It says, I have decided to terminate my relationship with Macy's because of the pressure being put on them by outside sources. Okay.
True.
And
I was told that they were under pressure, and I said, you know what? Let's fold it up.
And you had concerns about the products being made in China already, you said.
That's true. Exactly what my statement said. I never loved the business with Macy's because the ties were made in China. And it's part of my speech. I would, you're not bringing up anything really novel, Don, because I would make it part of my speech that, I go out and I have ties made in Macy's in China. I'm not in love with it. But the fact is that China so manipulates their currency that companies in the United States, Don, can't compete with them. Yeah. So, and it's all because of currency manipulation.
Why didn't you end it sooner?
Currency manipulation is the bane of the United States because China and other countries, Japan is one of the greats of all time. What they do in terms of currency manipulation is incredible. It's very hard now for Caterpillar to compete with Komatsu, which is a tractor made in Japan, because Japan has so knocked down their currency. So the currency manipulation is the biggest problem we have, and we don't even have a president that understands what it means.
Why didn't you end that relationship sooner then, if you had issues with it?
When I heard that they were under pressure, I said, let's end it. I didn't care. It's a small...
I meant with China.
It's a peanut. But you know what? When I heard, because they were folding under pressure. They can't handle pressure.
All right.
A lot of people can. By the way, I've had some calls from people. They're fantastic. They're tough. They're smart. And they were put under pressure, and they said, Don, no way. Yeah. And they just ride it through. I've had this all my life. You have to ride it through. Macy's was unable to handle pressure. They folded like dogs.
We come right back, more with Donald Trump. I want to know, if the campaign were an episode of The Apprentice, who would Donald Trump fire?
Okay, I want to ask you this, and since I found out I was getting the interview with you, I've been wanting to speak to you about this. 9 dead in Charleston. When you look at what's happened there, and in Baltimore, and in Ferguson, and in some other race relations around the country, racial related stories that have been a breaking point, really, what do you think is a problem, and what would you do to fix it?
It's so sad, first of all. And the one thing I'll say with Charleston, with the way that was handled was so beautiful. Nothing good comes out of a horror show like that, but if there is anything, the way the people reacted who were so affected, the love that they had, and it was incredible. It was actually an incredible moment. I've never seen anything like it. I couldn't have done that. I would have been angry, and I would have really gone after, I would have wanted to rip this guy's heart out. And I watched the way these people reacted with the love and the faith and God and everything else. I thought it was one of the more beautiful things that I've seen in my life.
What did you think about the president's speech?
I thought it was excellent. I'm not a fan of the president because I think he's hurt us economic development. Our real unemployment rate is probably 19 to 21%, et cetera, et cetera. I thought his speech was excellent, and I loved when he started to sing.
How high of a priority would improving race relations be for your presidency?
It would be a very high priority because we have so many places, whether it's Baltimore or Newark or Cleveland or so many places where there's such tension. And one of the things you have to do is spirit. We have to give more spirit to the country. This country doesn't have spirit. And the other thing you have to do is you have to create jobs. The jobs are being taken away from our country by all of these other countries. And they're taken away like we're babies. We've lost our manufacturing. We've lost our base. Yeah. A case like China, they take our money, they take our jobs, and then they loan the money back to us. We owe China $1.4 trillion right now. Yeah. We owe Japan $1.3 trillion right now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Japan sells us cars. They come into these massive ships in L.A. You see them coming in. I mean, it's like you wouldn't believe. I've never seen anything like it, the size of these ships. And then we owe them money. Yeah. They make a fortune, and yet we owe them money. Think about it. And we pay interest to Japan. We pay interest to China. So what we need, Don, is we need jobs. We have to have jobs. And we have to create incentive for people to want to work.
Yeah. I want to ask you, this is an apprentice-related question. I was just in Chicago just a couple of days ago. I ate at Bill Rancic's new restaurant. He's done very well by being on The Apprentice. He was the first one. He was the first run. But I want to ask you, the Republican field's shaping up to be an episode of The Apprentice, really. 14 announced candidates now, at least 2 more to come this month, all vying for attention. Which candidate would you fire first, and why?
Well, I think I'd fire a lot of them. Actually, I don't want to use names because I don't want to insult anybody, but I think I'd fire a lot of them. There are a lot of people that just don't even have a chance. I mean, it's ridiculous. Actually.
Like?
But well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to. I want to be a nice person. Okay. I've striven all my life to be nice. Actually, people do like me. I love charity. I love giving to charity. But but I don't want to ruin my.
I can't believe you're holding your tongue. When have I ever known Donald Trump to hold his tongue?
I could give you a very big list. I am very surprised. I'm not a Bush fan, and I say the last thing we need is another Bush. The Bush family should rest and relax and go back to sitting on boards and picking up checks.
Yeah. Because
this guy will never be able to make our country great. He doesn't have the energy. He doesn't have what it takes. And again. Not nice to say, but I'm being blunt because we have no choice. We have to do something to bring our country back.
Yeah. Is there any? I know sometimes you say that you feel that CNN is hard on you. You feel that a lot of the media is hard on you. That you're
and some is very fair. No, not all of it though. But some of the media treats me very, very fairly.
So do you feel that you're mischaracterized?
These poll numbers that just came out. I mean, some of the media really, it's been very nice to watch, and they've given me a lot of credit for it. So
is there anything you'd like to clear up while I have you here?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Donald Trump, thank you.
Thank you very much, Don.
So you heard what Donald Trump has to say. When we come right back, reaction from Republican